again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Mixed Media Frenzy. And for today's scrap lift, this is the funness that we are creating. And I'm not going to lie, this was a process. So I did go ahead and prep my paper with some white gesso right down the middle there. And you guys know, as I say, this is a process. All my mixed media layouts are processes, right? Because it's all about the layering. I understand that a lot of people, and this is how I was when I first started using mixed media, I want it all now. And that is just not, at least I've learned, and at least I think, how you achieve this beautiful effect in the end. Okay, so you have to like layer everything up. So I did go ahead and spritz my paper with some water first, and then I take my Dina Winkley gloss spray in fuchsia, and I spray the top, and then I kind of let it run around. But I don't want a full color wash on it. I want the streaks and the runs and all of that goodness. So I did kind of let that dry off screen and mess with it just a little bit and forget to turn my camera back on, so I do apologize. So I also wanted, if you notice, that sketch had a little pop of some orangey, peachy pinks, right? So I did go ahead and grab my Heidi Swapp Color Shine in mustard, and I used the magenta again. And now I'm just going to get that stuck on there, and I did kind of cut some of that out because that was like, I wanted it to sit there for a minute, and then I kind of sopped it up. But I do go ahead and show you most of the mixed media in these next parts. That was just taking me a while, and I was doing the Secret Not Secret Kit Club party weekend, so I was moving on. I do take my shimmer pins here, and that one I believe is in raspberry or red. And then I sprinkle in some more of the Dina Winkley magenta. And I want the color wash on this, okay? So I am going to get this all done, and I'm going to cut away for just a minute because, yeah, in just a minute I get it I get a little too zealous, and it, like, I made a mess. See the line that ran off? Yeah, that was bad. So I did take my paintbrush and kind of shimmer it all down, and now I've got a very good wet barrier, and all the outlines of it is dry. So the water tends to not really run because it's not so wet right there. I do go ahead and take some black Heidi Swapp Color Shine and my magenta again, and then I go ahead and drop in some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in raspberry. Now you're going to think, like I thought, oh, the black is overpowering, and guess what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and take my paintbrush, and I get that put around. I just take my rag and I sop it up, okay? The majority of it. But you see there's still some in there, right? That is how we're going to achieve the watermark effect. At least that's how I achieved it. I do go ahead and take some more Color Shine and some more gloss spray. And I'm just going to lightly, and now I'm going to let it run, and I'm going to move it with my paintbrush. And we're just going to sop up the water I dropped. Now I'm going to try to go over to the edge, and then not, so that one was it. No, this was bad editing. I'm so sorry. So I've got this completely almost dry, and I think it is dry, so that is so awesome. I love the way it looks. I do go ahead and take the Heidi Swapp Color Shine in black, and I splat all over it. Now that midsection there, yes, it looked pretty funky, but that's gonna get covered up. All right, so this is what I'm showing you right here. I did let it dry for a little bit, and you see all the watermarks because as it's drying, it's leaving different trails in places. And I don't do this on screen, but I actually like took a deep breath and like blew on it to make it pull out from each other. And in the final result, I am like in love with this. I will do another video again showing these techniques and not cut so much of it out. So there you go. See, like I'm all excited. And like the heavier spots is where it dried. Okay, so I have no idea why I turned it over like I thought this was going to work. I'm going to roughly sketch a heart on here. And I'm just kind of getting like the basic design principle of a heart on there, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and take the Color Shine in black, and I'm just going to fill up my little bitty tray here. Well, not so much fill up. I'm going to take I had to shake it up because I was like, I don't think there's enough shimmer in here, right? I'm going to take my paintbrush, and it's wet, and it's a smaller one because I was using a bigger one, and I'm just going to trace out this heart several times, but I want it wonky and crazy, and I do not want it to look like a heart. It's got to be like, I just want a whole bunch of different sketch lines. So I'm just going to keep turning the page, and I am just roughly doing this until I get the desired look that I was going for. Based on the sketch, it did have like something, it had the sketch marks on it, but I went like way rough. Like, see, I'm like way outside the line, and I'm like, yep, now let's start filling it all in. And then I'm just going to like put random lines that don't even match up to any other lines, but you can't really tell, you know? So you can't even, I just keep going with it. And I'm so in love with this technique. Now, while I'm getting all this on here, I do want to remind you that it's Mixed Media Friday, and there are so many other wonderful ladies that are in the group with us that play along and create fabulous mixed media layouts based on this scrap lift today. So when you're done watching my video, please check the description box below and go see what their interpretation of this sketch was. For once, I stayed pretty true to the sketch. You guys know that most of the time I like jump off the train and run to the car and then drive to the airplane when I'm doing a sketch or a scrap lift. So I'm going to put that to the side after I do some splatty bits. And now I'm going to take all my fun shimmers in all different colors of pink. And those are the shimmer brushes from Close to My Heart. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze all of those. I'm going to mix them up, and I'm going to squeeze them all into my little palette over there. And we're going to make a splatter explosion, right? Like I needed more explosion on there. I'm also going to add 2 purples because in the original lift, there was a little bit darker, deeper colors, and I was just not getting that with the colors that I had there. I wasn't achieving that. And as you see, I already like dropped some black over there where there's no gesso, so that's not coming up. But it's all right, it's all right. I'm going to sop it up just a little bit. It just adds character. Oh, it's so shimmery and shiny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and splat all of this down. Now I'm going to have to tell you that I did try to grab out my little journal swatchy notebooky thing that I use all my excess mixed media up on, and it didn't work. I tried to save that stuff to create some cool like little background, and yeah, I just made a big brown muddy mess, so I was unable to be able to make a cool background. I'm gonna go ahead and take my scissors, and I'm gonna cut out the heart, and I just roughly cut this sucker out, and I do come back and do a little bit more of a detailed trim on the heart. Obvious reasons, right? Because it wasn't, I didn't like the way it was looking there. So I do cut it just a little bit more, and now I'm happy. Now this picture here, I printed out in black and white, and the only reason I printed it in black and white was because I ran my printer out of ink, okay? And I didn't catch it. So this came out black and white, and I thought that it was, I saved it because it's a picture of me and my son, but the effect that black and white picture has on top of this explosion of color, I thought I cut it one more time. See, I wasn't too happy with it, but I didn't want to say that. I do cut it closer to the sketchy black lines, but I really do like the way it turned out. And like you can see like where the color dried in darker areas and lighter areas, and I really, really want you guys to try this if you haven't already. And if you have, oh my God, tell me all about it. Just saying. Now I do flip my layout, if you noticed. There you go. I liked it with the orange up at the top. I liked it exploding up into the heart instead of raining down on the heart. I know, my mind. I did go ahead and use dry adhesive and some wet adhesive too, because there's a lot of mixed media on this. And yes, my paper did warp, but nothing too dramatic. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do not do a lot of embellishment on this because that background speaks for itself, and the effect that black and white picture has popping off the page, I am in love. So I do go ahead and take these pink little flowers that I have sitting up there in my little embellishment drawers, and I do not use those enough. Plus, I don't use brads enough. So I'm going to go ahead and layer those 3 together, and then I take a pink brad and just pop that on there. I do go back later and cover up the brad tines. I have these cute little purple flowers. They're very pale purple, almost pinkish. So I do get those stuck on there. They're very dimensional. And my title is, I'm not even sure what those are from. I want to say a Hip Kit Club is where I got those from when I was a member of the Hip Kit Club. Anyway, they're pinks, right? And I just did a simple love you. So I went with a simple little love you title because that's my son and, well, I love him. I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue to get those stuck down because even if I didn't have all the mixed media, it wasn't going to stick anyway. And I'm just going to line them up right underneath my picture. And I do apologize if that was kind of choppy. My fiance walked in, and when he knows I'm doing a voiceover, I won't do it in front of him because he'll make fun of me talking to myself. And then he just made more and more fun of me. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on some enamel dots to get a little bit more of the hidden Mickey for this weekend's party. I sprinkle a couple of those around the page. And I just really love the way that this layout turned out, not to toot my own horn. I'm going to have several close-ups at the end for you so you can see all the depth and dimension. And hopefully you will give it a try and let me know how it worked out for you. So I will see you guys again here tomorrow for Scrap Saturday with MK, and that'll do it. Have a nice day. Bye.